look quite as pretty. And this is our herbicide trial. The herbicide trial we started off a number of years back, basically working on what Kevin was saying they were doing in Washington, was basically mixes of pursuit with the glyphosate. And it just so happened we did that in 2009, 2010 when we didn't really get great stands, establishments. The only level of pursuit that worked was the full rate in any manageable way. So our cut rates of pursuit in the fall, while it was effective in getting some of these bigger flick swedes, it just didn't give us the kick we needed. And the reason that we were worried about using the Odysseys and the Solos was that our crop stage with the lentils and would be so early in the spring, and the spring tends to be cold, and what happens with Odyssey and Solo in the cold, right? Well, we sort of switched gears, and we found the last couple of years that going with the Odyssey and a mixture of edge in the fall has actually been our best results. And of course, nothing beats a good canopy. You know, and you talk to the herbicide guys, they said the most important part of herbicides is good agronomy. So if we can get, you know, a good plant stand, then we can get great control with some of our common herbicides. How many people actually spray or grow conventional lentils now? Does anyone grow conventional lentils? Tim. Does Tim? You do?
A few, not many.
So I'm sure that Kevin will get the Clearfield variety into the winter lentils at some point here. Maybe he does already, but he's going to be quiet about it. But lentils is a tough one because we still have the only option is really Sencor and Edge. You'll notice that the Blue Book now has sort of switched it. They used to have a split application of Sencor, and that's no longer there. I would have to say that's probably the best approach for our winter lentils. We get next to no control with the low rate of Sencor because our weeds are already so big, especially when we're talking about winter lentils. Obviously, weeds of concern in winter crops are going to be the winter annuals because we don't tend to get great control of them in the fall. This is where I think a later seeding actually does help, because you give the flick swedes and the stinkweeds a chance to germinate, you can get them in that fall burn down before you seed. Whereas if you seed it early, you don't have a chance to get those because they haven't really germinated yet. And then with a lentil in particular, all you're left with is your Edge and your Sencor, and Edge and Sencor don't do a fabulous job. The Edge definitely helps. The other thing that we did was 2 timings of Edge. We wanted to look at, you know, Edge just at the time of seeding. So if we're doing a September type application versus a later October or November, the difference there is really because we're worried if we do it on an early application, is that going to sort of gas off and not have any effect by springtime? So far our results has found that very little difference actually, and we are still getting decent control with Edge in a fall application and a fall zero-till application. So that's really kind of out of the norm of Edge. Edge has been touted as, you know, more of a conventional, needs to be worked in. We've seen results that are positive in a zero-till fall applied application. Not always enough, but...
Are you arrowing it?
Pardon me?
Are you using arrows?
Nope, nothing at all. We're just dropping it down. See, especially if we've already seeded and the crop's up, we don't want to harrow, right? So we're actually putting the edge down on the crop after it's up.
You don't know if it is not beneficial, the harrowing.
It could be, yes. Yeah. I didn't say that it wouldn't be, did I?
No, you did not.
Right.
But some of the crops, you don't look back, you just harrow. Don't do those peas. I don't know what the lentils will do.
Yeah. Okay, just a quick, we'll jot over